Hello, today I'll be talking about the game Potion Explosion. A couple of videos. I did a video on the game Takenoko, and I said I got that from my daughter. It was one I had given to her years ago, and she no longer wanted it and was getting rid of it. And that's the same case with this game Potion Explosion. It's a game I'd given to my youngest daughter, who's no longer very young anymore. Anyway, I guess she didn't want this game anymore, so she was getting rid of it, so she gave it back to me. Hadn't played it in several years, so decided I'd go ahead and do a video on this one. So let's get started with setup. Alright, first thing in setup, you'll give each player one of these desk boards. I'm doing a 3-player game, so I've got 3 of them out here. So you give them each one of those desk boards and they'll place it in front of them, their play area. The rules say that the player that most recently prepared a drink will take the first player token and be the first player. That doesn't really change throughout the game, so once a person is the first player, they're always the first player, and the game just goes in clockwise order. Next, you'll separate all the potion tiles into their 8 different types. You can mostly tell the different types by the different stopper, bottle stopper, I guess that is. So you'll separate them out into their 8 different types, and then you'll remove two of the different types won't be used in each game. So you'll choose 2 different types to remove. The rules suggest for the first game that you should remove this one, which is the Bomb of Uttermost Stickiness. And this one I think is the Filtering Lavamancing. Those are the ones the rules suggest you remove for your first game, but you can remove any. But I'll go ahead and remove those. The other potion types are, you've got the Elixir of Blind Love, Potion of Wisdom, Potion of Prismatic Joy, Abysmal Draft, Sands of Time, and Potion of Magnetical Attraction. Alright, once you've got all those, you'll notice that a couple of these potions of each type have a star on them. Those are starter potions. So you're randomly going to take 2 starting potion tiles per player. So in a 3-player game, that will be 6 random starting potion tiles. So I'm just going to take 1 from each stack. That will be 6. Alright, we can set the other potion tiles aside for now. You lay your random starting potion tiles out in a row in the middle of the play area, and you want to place them recipe side up. They have the side with this gray banner on it is the recipe side. Side with the green banner is the completed potion side. So you want to place them recipe side up, and then starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player will choose 1 starting potion tile, and then once each player has chosen 1 starting potion tile, then starting with the last player and going counterclockwise, each player will choose an additional potion tile, so each player will end up with 2. So we'll say, this is our starting player. We'll just say he's going to choose this one that will have a 5-point value if it's completed. He'll put that on his Bunsen burner thing there. Then the next player in clockwise order, which will be our player over here, we'll just say they're going to choose this one. And then finally, this player decides to choose this one. And then now, starting with this player that's our last player, they get to choose another one. So we'll just have them choose this one. Then going in counterclockwise order, this player chooses this one. And finally, our first player chooses this one. And now each player has 2 potions on their Bunsen burner desk board. Then you'll take your remaining potion tiles that were not part of the starting tile setup. You'll randomize them and create 5 stacks of potion tiles with these randomized potions. So let me get that done off camera. Alright, so I've got my 5 stacks of randomized potions. Make sure those are recipe side up as well. Next you'll take your dispenser tank and place it in the center of the play area. Now, this is a cardboard one that you have to assemble the first time you play. I think in later versions they may have come out with a better model of this, a plastic one. I haven't seen it, but I think I remember reading about that. So I think there is a plastic model of this dispenser tank. But the one I have is this cardboard one. I think I have the 2015 version of this game. So anyway, place that in the center of the play area. And then you'll fill that with your ingredient marbles. You've got unicorn tears, which is blue. You've got fairy dandruff, which is yellow. You've got ogre mucus, which is the black. And you've got dragon smoke, which is the red. You can see this one doesn't randomize them too well. But there are 80 marbles. Let's see if I can get these all in there. I'll have to just kind of get these. And I've got some more. And you want to make sure that all the rows are even, or as even as can be, so you don't have any sitting up on the top here. Alright, and you'll see that the marbles rolled down into the dispensers there. I had missed an ogre mucus and I found it and put it there. Alright, so that's done. Next you'll take these tokens that look like this, they're called a little help tokens, and place them near the dispenser. Finally, you'll take these skill tokens and put them near the dispenser. You'll make a countdown stack out of these skill tokens by taking a certain number of them, depending on the number of players in your game. In a 3-player game, you'll make a countdown stack with 5 of these skill tokens. In a 2-player game, you'll have 4, and in a 4-player game, you'll have 6. But that completes setup, and we are now ready to learn how to play. Alright, in Potion Explosion, the players will take turns, starting with the first player, and then you just go in clockwise order and continue that way until the game end is triggered, which we'll talk about later, but let's talk about what players will do on their turn. The one thing you must do on your turn is to take an ingredient from the dispenser. So to do that, you take any ingredient that's visible in the dispenser. Now you can't take these that are up, partially up here in the top. So you can only take one of the first 8 marbles in the dispenser. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. You can't try to grab these that are back here. But any marble in the dispenser that's one of the first 8 in a row, you can take one of those ingredients. Now what you're trying to do is get ingredients that match the color of the recipe on your potions, because once you fill those up with the proper ingredients, then you'll complete that potion. So for instance, here you need 2 red, and this one you need 2 yellow. Or if you don't want to just call them by their colors, 2 dragon smoke and 2 fairy dandruff. I'm just going to call them by their colors going forward, red, yellow, blue, but they do have their official game names. So anyway, one of the things you must do is take a marble from the dispenser. Now, one thing that happens when you take a marble from the dispenser, when you remove one, if you cause 2 marbles of the same color to collide, then you take all those marbles of that color that collided. So for example, if I take this blue one as the ingredient I take, then that yellow one is going to drop down and collide with that other yellow one. And that's called making it explode. Well, any marbles you make explode, you then get to take those as well. So if I took that blue one, then those drop down and those two yellows collided, then they would explode and I would get to take those two as well. And if in taking those two it caused more to drop down and collide, then those would explode and you'd get to take those as well. Now the marbles have to actually collide, like just because two are together and they roll down because you took one, that doesn't cause an explosion and allow you to take those marbles. They have to actually collide, but they all the ones of that color you would get to take. So for instance, we'll just if these two reds were here and this blue was here, and we'll just say this black wasn't, these two blacks weren't here. If I took this blue and these two reds rolled down and collided with this red, then I would get to take all three of those reds. So when you are taking your ingredient, if you get to take that one, and then any others that collide in that row, you get to take them as well. We'll see that in the future. I thought I'd just show this example from the rule book. So if you take this red one out and these two yellows can roll down, then they collide and you get to take those three yellows as well, which then causes this black one to roll down and collide with this one, so you get to take those as well. Then the two blue ones roll down and they don't collide with any marble of the same color, so then you don't get to take any others. So any marbles that you got, the one from your pick and any that caused an explosion and you got to take as well, those go in your hand. One other thing you can do once per turn is you can take one of these with a little help tokens. Now that'll be worth -2 points to you at the end of the game when scoring, but what that allows you to do is take an extra marble from the dispenser. Now you can do that either before your initial pick or after you've picked and got any marbles that exploded. Then you can take one of those and it lets you take another marble or ingredient out of the dispenser. However, when you use a little help token to take an ingredient and another ingredient, any explosions that happen from removing that ingredient, you do not get to take those ingredients as well. Again, you can do that once per turn, and you can do it before or after your initial pick of your ingredient. But as I said, every one of those that you do on a turn will give you -2 points when you're scoring, but it may be worth it at some point or at some times. So we'll just again show an example. This player needs red, yellow, or blue. So we'll just say for the example we're saying they take this blue, which causes those two yellows to collide, so they get those two as well. Now those roll down, but we cause no more collisions, so that's all they get. So then they have these three marbles in their hand, or ingredients, potion ingredients in their hand. Now again, I could do the with a little help to take an extra one, but I would get the one I chose, but any explosions that happen, I would not get those. But then any ingredients you have in your hand, you can add to potions that you have on your desk. If you got a lot and you have some left over that you can't place, like maybe I had some blacks that I had received from explosions or something, I had those left over. Any you have left over that you can't put on a potion, you can put them here in your ingredient pool. You can store up to 3 in your ingredient pool. If you still have some left over after that, then you just have to place them back in the dispenser. Now, if you already have some, if it's a turn other than the first turn and you already have some in your ingredient pool, you can pick those up and put them in your hand and move them to potions, and other ones that you have in your hand you can then put in your ingredient pool if necessary. But anyway, once you've placed all the ingredients that you can, either on potions or in the dispenser, any that you have left over still in your hand, you have to place back into the dispenser. Let me just get these to show if you happen on your turn to complete a potion like this, then at that point you can remove the ingredients that were there, place them back into the dispenser. Now if you have a case like this where you put them back in there randomly and it's sitting on top like that because those are full, you put it in the nearest one that is not full, so you would just then flip it over there. But a potion that you completed, then you take that, flip it over to its completed side and place that in your play area. And that will count for a number of points for you at the end of the game when you're in scoring. This one would be worth 5 points. But also, during your turn, you can drink a completed potion for its power. And you can drink a potion at any time on your turn. It doesn't have to be, after you've taken an ingredient and placed all your ingredients. You can use a potion at any time on your turn. This particular potion kind of works similar to with a little help token or little help, one of those little help tokens. It allows you to take one ingredient from the dispenser. When you drink it. It again, like the little help token, when you take an ingredient using this potion, then if it causes any explosions, you don't get those exploded ingredients. But after you drink a potion, you just flip it over. It'll still count toward your score at the end, but it does not, you can't drink it again. So you keep it flipped over so you know that you've already drunk that potion and you can't drink that one again. And you don't have to drink potions as soon as you complete them. You can save them and drink them at whatever time is opportune for you. So that's the potion of wisdom. Let's talk about the powers of some of these other potions. This potion, the potion of prismatic joy, if you have completed that and it's in your play area and you want to drink that, that allows you to take any ingredients that are in your ingredient pool and put them on potions, even if they're not the same color as the ingredient that's required there, they count as that color. So you can place those ingredients on any color of ingredient on a potion and they will count as that color. Again, those are ones you take from your ingredient pool. This one, the Abysmal Draught, if you drink that, it allows you to take up to one ingredient of each color from the bottom row of the dispenser. And you have to take each one from a different row. So if you used it here, because you can only take one ingredient of each color, you would only get to take a blue, red, and a yellow. Because you have to take them from the bottom row, and it's only one of each color. But that can be pretty handy. Again, these have to be completed potions that you have in your play area to drink them and get their abilities. The Sands of Time potion, if you've completed that and you drink it, it allows you to use the power of one of the other potions that you've already drank and used its ability. When you use that, it lets you use one of those abilities again. So it's like re-drinking a potion you've already drank. This one, the Elixir of Blind Love, if you drink that, it allows you to steal all the ingredients from one of your opponent's ingredient pools. So if they've got, 2 or 3 ingredients that you might need in their pool, you could drink this, and it allows you to steal their ingredients. And I won't go over them all now, but they're on the back of the rule book. They tell what each of the potions does. So either we'll see it in the example of play, or they can be referenced there on the back of the rule book. So after you've made your pick of your ingredient, drank any potions, completed any potions, drank them, used your little help token after you've done all of that, and there's nothing else you can do on your turn. Let's say you completed this potion, maybe you drank it and used its power, and you're going to end your turn. The last thing you'll do to end your turn is if you don't have two potions there on your Bunsen burners on your desk, then you draw any one of the top available potions to refill. So if you had completed two potions maybe and had them in your play area, then you would draw two, and it's your choice as long as they're available. So maybe you take that one and you take that one, and you put them back on your desk. So you'll always refill. You'll always have two potions on your desk at the end of your turn. Once you've completed that, then it goes to the player in clockwise order, so player to your left, and then they'll take a turn. So as I mentioned, completed potions will be worth the amount of points shown on that potion, but there's other way to earn points, and that's to get skill tokens. You acquire the skill tokens every time you've completed 3 of the same type of potion. You get a skill token, and you'll take it off of the countdown stack, put that in your play area. That'll be worth 4 points toward your score at the end of the game. Now if you complete 3 of the same type of potion and get a skill token, you cannot complete 3 of that same type of potion and get another skill token. But you can complete 3 of another type of potion and get a skill token for that. So you can get a skill token for every 3 of one type of potion that you make. You can also get a skill token for completing 5 different types of potions. And you can only get that once. So once you've gotten a skill token for completing 5 different types of potions, you can't do another 5 different types of potions and get another skill token for that. But every time you take a skill token, you'll take it off of the countdown track. Once the last skill token is taken from the countdown track, that will trigger the end of the game. So once the game end is triggered by someone taking the final skill token, or the game end can also be triggered when the last available potion is taken and there's no more available potions to be drawn. So whichever one triggers the game end, play will continue in clockwise order until the player to the right of the first player has completed their next turn, and then that will end the game. Players will then add up all the potions that they've completed. They'll add up their values and any skill tokens they have, and subtract for any with a little help tokens that they've taken, and the player with the highest total score wins the game. If there's a tie, then amongst the tied players, starting with the first player, if they are one of the tied players, those players will draw an ingredient from the dispenser and try to get the most ingredients. The player who takes the most ingredients or marbles on their turn will be the winner. And I think that pretty much covers the rules, so I will set everything back up to how it was right after setup, which I think we're pretty much there anyway. And we'll do a few example rounds. Alright, so let's do a few example turns. This is our first player. So what they can do on their turn is take an ingredient. They don't have any potions to drink or anything at this time. Of course, they can take one of those little helps to take an extra ingredient if wanted. But anyway, we know they need either red, yellow, or blue, so they're going to look for the best option to get the most of those, see if they can get any explosion. Just taking a quick glance, it doesn't look like we have any good options. So, I don't know, we'll take this black, which causes the reds to collide, so that'll be an explosion. That's all we're going to get. So we'll put these two reds here, and we can put this black in our ingredient pool. Now we could still use one of those to get another color if we wanted to, but I think we won't do that at this time, so that will end this player's turn. We come to our next player over here. They need blacks, yellows, and a red. They can get several blacks if they take this one out. That causes those two to collide, so they get those. That causes these yellows to collide, so they'll get those. And that causes all four of those blues to collide, so they will get all four of these blue. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so they got quite a few. So they can put these two here, this one here, these two here, and then they can put 3 blues in their ingredient pool. They are going to take a little help token to take a red, and they're going to finish that potion. This one they don't need, so they're just going to put that back in the pool. Alright, so they finished this one off, so we'll take those marbles off, and this one we got to move to the nearest empty one. So they completed this potion, so they get that. If they ever need to, they can drink that. That's that elixir of blind love, or whatever it's called, but it lets you steal the ingredients from another person's pool. They don't want to use that right now. They did take this token, which will give them -2. This one will be worth 4. And that is pretty much going to end their turn, so they do have to refill. So they'll look at one of these they want to take, and since they have so many blues, they'll probably take this one. Now you can't, because their turn is over, they can't take those from their ingredient pool and place them on that potion at this time. They'll have to wait till their next turn to do that. Alright, on to the next player. Alright, well, this player needs reds and blues and blacks and yellows, so pretty much any of the colors will be helpful to them. So let's just see what they want to do over here. Well, I don't know. We'll say they're going to take this yellow, which causes those blacks to collide. And then that's a red and a yellow, so that doesn't, no more explosions. So they just got these two. So they can put this 2 black here and this yellow here. They could do with a little help to get another yellow and finish that potion off if they wanted to. But I think at this time they won't. This is only a 3-pointer. I don't know if it's worth it to lose 2 points, but maybe it is. I don't know, but they're not going to do that this time. So that's going to end their turn. We'll do one more round, I think. Alright, well, he still needs some reds and yellows and a blue. Not really seeing a good helpful combination here to get any good explosions or anything. But I don't know. I guess we'll just take this black, which will cause those 2 reds to explode, which causes those 2 yellows to explode. And that's going to be it. But that gives us these. So we got these 2 yellows and these 2 reds, which are going to complete that potion. Gives us a black left. We could do a little help if we wanted, but that wouldn't help us finish that potion. But we did complete this potion, so we'll throw these back into the tank. We'll have to put these over to the... No, that one's already filled, so that one goes over there. Oh, well, that one probably should have gone in there, but I shoved it too far. Anyway, so we completed this potion. That's the Potion of Wisdom, I think it is, that lets you take one ingredient of your choice from the dispenser. We're not going to use that right now, but that one will be worth 5 points to us at the end. And now we're going to end our turn, so we'll have to choose a new potion. We know we've got a couple blacks in our ingredient pool, so maybe when we want to choose one that uses black, so maybe we'll choose this one and put that on our Bunsen burner on our desk. And that will end that turn. So we'll come back to our second player here. They have these 3 blues that they'll be able to put in there. So we know they need blacks and yellows. So let's see what we got over here. Well, I think the first thing we're going to do is drink our potion here, the Elixir of Blind Love, that lets us steal all the ingredients from one opponent's pool. So we'll steal these 2 blacks from this player, and we can go ahead and put those on our potion. And then so we know with our 3 blues that we're going to put there, we only need 1 yellow to finish that. So we really want to get some yellows. So we can see, now we couldn't grab that one, but if we take this one, that's going to cause those 2 yellows to collide, so we'll get those. And I guess that's all we're going to get out of that, but 3 yellows is pretty much all we need to complete both of these potions once we put these. So now we've completed both of these potions, so we can just throw these marbles back in the dispenser. Let's get these. Alright, so we completed this one, which is another Elixir of Blind Love. That one's worth 7 points at the end, and one of these Sands of Times, which is worth 3 points. And if we get one more Elixir of Blind Love, then we'll have 3 of them, so we'll get to take a skill token from the countdown. But that's how we're going to end our turn, so now we'll choose two more potions. There's not an Elixir of Blind Love here, unfortunately. So let's just take one of these, and we'll take something we don't have yet. Maybe this one that's worth 10 points if we complete it. Alright, put those on our desk, and now we're done with this player's turn, so we'll move on to our third player. So we know we need reds, blues, and a yellow. I think we'll go ahead and take a little help token to choose a ingredient of our choice. And we'll take a yellow from here, and that'll allow us to complete that potion. Now we'll go ahead and do our regular pick. And I'm not seeing anything that's going to get us blues and red. Oh yeah, here we go. If we take this blue, that's going to collide, and so we'll get all 3 of those reds. Let me get that one. That doesn't give us another explosion, but we got 3 reds and a blue. So we almost finished that one. We needed 1 more blue. We can put that in our ingredient pool, but we did finish off this potion. And so we got a Sands of Time, and that one's only worth 3 points. So I think that's going to end our turn. We can't do another. You can only get 1 little help per turn, so we can't use another one of these to allow us to get another blue ingredient. But we do need to refill our desk, so we'll just let's look for one that this one's worth 11 points if we complete it. So we'll take that one, put it on our desk. That will end that player's turn, and we would go back to the first player's turn. And I think that's enough examples to give you a good understanding of how the game works. Again, you'll be wanting to get 5. You want be wanting to complete 5 different types of potions, so you can take a skill token. You'll be wanting to complete 3 of the same type of potion, so you can take a skill token. Once all the skill tokens are gone, you'll do continue until the player to the right of the first player has taken their next turn, and then you'll be done, and players will add up their scores from their completed potions and any skill tokens they've acquired, minus any little help tokens, and determine the winner. I think you can see how this game plays. I think it's a fun family game. It's not something I would, pull out with my strategy gaming buddies, but when my daughter and my wife and I used to play it, we enjoyed it. As I've mentioned many times in these videos, my daughter no longer seems to care anything about board games, so we don't play these games anymore, but I think it's a good family game and enjoyable. That's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.